is Neelam Patak here. I'm the founder and CEO of Social Bay Consulting and WIMA, which is Women in Manufacturing and Allied Industry. As a part of our WIMA skilling session, today we have organized a masterclass on LCA, that is Life Cycle Assessment, and our professional LCA consultant, Mr. Suraj, will be taking this session. But before we proceed for the session, I have a request that as a part of Social Pay Consulting, we also organize the LCA training, and our next batch is going to come on from the 15th of November 2025. It is a 10 module training where each module is of 3 hours. It's a completely online training, which has a lot of hand holding, training on the tools. If you are interested in taking up the training, we will be sharing the link into the comment. And if you can register your interest there, and our team will connect you for more details. If you have any question, viewers, do put up your questions in the comment, and we will take your questions at the end with our expert consultant. So over to you, Suraj. Please go ahead and please brief our audience about what is LCA, why it is important, and why they should be considering a career into this. So, Suraj, please, you can share your screen and go ahead with this.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. And see why we need a study on environment science, because everybody is just getting impacted with the this one carbon part, which is going to the environment, and that is basically the global warming potential. And we have to find out a solution which will be the mathematics to understand how much carbon we are adding with every product or process or anything whatever we are doing it. So LCA is the study for that. And in other terms, we always say LCA is basically a study to for product substitution also. So it's a two kind of thing. Either it will give you what kind of impact it's giving to the environment, and the second thing, is there any product substitute for that which will save the carbon impact? So that we consider it, and that is the part of the LCA study. Now in LCA,
Suraj, are you going to share your screen? Sorry.
yes, I will take another 1 minute time, and after that I will share the screen. Okay. So in LCA, see what kind of authenticity, whatever the study we are doing it. So make the report more authentic. There is an environment product declaration process where a third party verifier will verify your studies, and then they will publish on the global platform, which is having more, you can say, credibility for that particular product or process, or whatever the circularity you have considered for the product. So those things I will give you the impact and what are the advantage for environmental studies. So let me start with two things. One is what is the history behind it, and then we will see what are the things we are going to cover up in our training also. Okay, give me a minute. I am sharing my screen. I think my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, we can see the document, Suraj.
Yes. So, if you see in 1972, we start thinking about the global warming potential, and before that, we thought about the ozone layer depletion. So, those are small things. In 1992-93, it comes to a stage where we are having sufficient data, and with those data, we started calculating approximate calculation. Then there will be a ISO framework, what to include, what to exclude, and why to exclude. So those things we come up in 1997 2000 around. And then if you talk about the study or the modeling what we are looking at present, it started in 2003 when EcoInvent inventory database is being released. So based on that inventory database, everybody has built up the modeling software. So those things also we can see it later on. Okay. So 2003, 1992. So these are the three periods. One is 72. We start thinking about that. Then in 1992, This is the second one where the systematic approach started. And later on in 2003, when EcoInvent has published their database, which is the base for all the software. Either it's a Gabi, either it's a Sima Pro, either One Click. Now, One Click and Sima Pro are merged, but globally they are keeping both the names. I don't know how much time they will take to merge both the names and come up with a new name. Okay. So let me start the actual slide. This is the history. So these are the three dates: 72, 92, and then 2003 is more important for anybody who wants to know about the LCA. Let me share the screen and then I will take you through. Here in this particular, you can say presentation, we will study about two things. One is environment science is important and why, and how to get the practical training on subject which will suit to the industry, because everybody is looking towards this as a solution for our global warming as well as their job requirement. See, we are struggling with global warming, and major cause of global warming is greenhouse gas. Since starting, we were concentrating on greenhouse gas. So ultimately, everybody has put their effort to understand, then impact. Then they thought about, okay, why don't we express all the impact in one term? And finally, they agree with one thing: CO2 is the major gas which is impacting the global warming potential. So they convert all the impact category into CO2. And then it's easy for us. So we can say, okay, if I'm manufacturing cement, so 100 kg of cement, how much is the global warming potential or the impact? So say 100 kg of cement, it is giving say some 100 gram or kg or ton in CO2 equivalent per 100 kg. So this kind of unit they devise for the study, and that is we are carrying it out right now. Slowly, with the economy principle, companies identify the scope for circularity and end of use phase, which we have never thought about earlier. We were using the resources and we never thought about, okay, this resources is going to deplete in some period, or maybe what legacy we are leaving it for our next generation. So ESG document, it will show ki how much resource depletion we are responsible and how we are going to take back those resource in circular economy to reduce the depletion of those kind of resources. Just like if I am using steel, and at the end of the life of a building, if we are using reusing the steel or the scrap and just taking it back to our scrap yard, then converting once again into steel rods or bar and using it in our construction industry, it means that much resource I am trying to save for the earth. So everybody start thinking in that direction, and this is the phase where LCA comes into the picture in a very largest perspective, where I can show, okay, I am depleting that much, but I am just taking it back to the system once again. Okay, and why LCA and ESG? Very refined training is required. In LCA and ESG, if you go through, there are more than 50 terms, and every terms is having its own meaning, and it can be expressed in a different manner. I will give you an example. If you talk about an HR department in any of the company, you can say, okay, I am taking care of salary benchmarking. So he doesn't know to need the L&D part or the talent management part. But in LCA and ESG, it's quite difficult. You cannot say, okay, I will not take care of that particular thing, but other things I will take care, because when you do the calculation, might be you require that particular part or particular word in your calculation. So you have to understand, so 50 terms, and every day, or I can say every week, we are adding one more term, because we are 195 countries, and every country they are coming up with the new regulation. So new regulation, when they abbreviate the words, so it's abbreviated as per their country, not as per the global standard, because every country, their stage is different. If we are talking about net zero by 2070, uh, European countries, they are talking about 2050. So every country, they have set their own target based on their current scenario. So terminology you have to understand, and that terminology will help you to define as well as to create the report. And sitting in India, you cannot say, "Ki, I will work for the Indian companies only." When these MNC company, if they are creating ESG report for India, they have to convert in terms of European. If they are sending it to their head office, they collate the whole world report, and they publish it. So we should be aware about each and every terminology. We do not know when it comes into the picture while making the report. Let's go to the next slide. See, and the best part of our training is, okay, we are going to cover up more than you can say 20 case studies, and every case study is different from the other case study, where you will get the clear cut the modeling process, even the inventory calculation or inventory, how to uh, you can say go to the factory, find out what kind of inventory we require to do the LCA study. So all these things, what are the ways, how you can make it in Excel sheet or any software, how you can incorporate to know what are the inputs are there, what are the scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 emissions are there. Later on we will talk about the scope 4 also, but as of now we are talking about scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. The next question is, if we are doing some kind of a study or training, how it is going to help you in your career prospect, which is very important nowadays. If you are getting graduated, or you are doing masters in energy management, or maybe this is you can say the life cycle assessment part, you are doing some kind of PhD work. So how it is help you for the career prospect? See, go back and see what the Paris Agreement does. And Paris Agreement is a legal binding for almost all the country, 195 countries. Nobody can say I am not going to follow it. In the similar fashion, India has put 2070 to achieve net zero. When we talk about net zero means ki what are the carbon we are emitting, either due to production of some component, product, or process. That much carbon we are accommodating in our system, so that the addition of carbon to the environment is almost zero. There are many logical ways, which we will just see it later on. Okay, the government has implemented a new draft where 460 units in India, and they are having binding to reduce carbon. And these 460 unit, they are the most polluted industry in India, and they have to reduce it, and they have to give a time frame how they are going to do it. So this is not going to be greenwashing for them, or greenwashing for companies to submit a report to the government. So they have to give a clear cut mandate. Okay, this year I am reducing 1%, this year I am doing 2%, this year I am going to do 5%, and how they are going to do it. So everything is documented, well documented, and they cannot deny it. So last year report, if you are projecting next year I am going to reduce 1% or 2% or 3% carbon footprint in our manufacturing process, or as a whole organization, they have to give the roadmap, and then in next year document he has to provide that roadmap, how they have achieved, what are the process they have done it, and whether this is shown on the you can say grassroots level or not. So these kind of regulations are there, and these are the strict regulation coming to India. So you can easily understand 460 units. If every unit is having say four factory, I'm just taking it a very you can say on the minimum part. So 460 into 4, approximately 2000 factories are there. So they require at least 2000 people, because these people are going to submit the report, or you can say the inventory analysis. They can give the inputs about which inventory or what process they can reduce the carbon. So because it's a continuous process, I cannot say ki this year I have done it and after that I do not have to do it, so I can engage a consultant and do that. So every year they have to do it. So they will certainly come to a point where they do not have any kind of uh, you can say expectation ki now I can be able to reduce it. I come to a dead end, or the where the reducing the carbon will affect the manufacturing process. Okay, so the first phase is where the process is not required, they will just try to reduce that process. What are the substitute item or the substitute product they can utilize to reduce it? Second, how they can reduce the power utility. Either they will go for the green energy, or maybe they will use the battery operated trucks for transportation. So these are the small things. If they will add up, it is going to give them a cushion for 4 5 years. After 4 5 years, when the some kind of maturity will come, then they have to go for the carbon credit. That is the only way, or else they have to go for the forestation. We say it's a decarbonization. We are unable to reduce the carbon, then decarbonization. So whatever the carbon we are producing, we will try to just subtract that much of carbon from environment some other places. So these kind of things, permutation and combination, they have to do it to reach to a net zero. Let's go to the next slide and understand how we can implement sustainability in manufacturing. There are a lot of approach which can help companies in sustainable growth, and few of them are there. What we have discussed just now, energy efficient process. So earlier, people were not very much concerned about the power usage. Now the power is very costly, and they have seen it. If they are going to reduce the or if they are going to use the power in an efficient manner, they can reduce the bill, which is a direct profit